Hey, it's the live Q&A. Doug Cunnington here from Niche Site Project. I see we have a couple people on already. I'm a few minutes late. Sorry about that. And hopefully you can hear me. We'll know in just a moment. It is cold today. I have my special extra cold hat. You may recognize it from, the great movie. Cousin Eddie wore it, the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. Anybody remember that movie? Super warm hat. It's really fantastic. So, all right, we got general Q&A today. I am going to sort of open up with a bit of a story while the questions come in. And I see we do, give me a shout if you're in the chat. I see we have Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Good to have you on. Jaquez, Arun, Santiago. We have Amaslo and Marcel. We have, and by the way, thank you to Arun, Marcel, a couple other people. You'll see their name in blue, I think. They are our kind moderators to keep order in the chat room. So fingers crossed. They won't have to do anything, but if they do, we can count on them. And we have Duke as well. So Dennis and David and Grigoris. All right, awesome. So quick intro. Like I mentioned, I've been talking about Pat Flynn lately. I see he's had a lot more activity on his channel, a lot more videos. It looks like people are putting in more time with YouTube, not just me, and they have like way bigger channels. But check out Smart Passive Income if you haven't before. By the way, how many people have heard of Smart Passive Income? It's kind of where I got my start. And the thing is, I didn't know anything about Amazon affiliate sites, which I know a lot about now, but I didn't know anything about niche sites, internet marketing in general. I didn't know what copywriting was. I didn't know anything. So love the podcast, love the blog in general. And there's some overlap of the topics with the blog and the podcast. And to be honest with you, I haven't read the blog. I don't read blogs as often. I should get back in there, but it'd be cool if there was more like overlap, I guess, or at least like more apparent overlap. Maybe there isn't. I just haven't read it in a while. Anyhow, I found the podcast just randomly one day out walking my dog and was looking for something new to listen to. And I found Smart Passive Income and then listened to all the available episodes. And one thing, you probably have figured this out too, each person on here, like maybe you found the Deadbeat Super Affiliate, for example, and then you found Income School, and then you found me. And then hopefully, if you're watching this, you've sort of, you like my style better, right? So I think the people that probably show up here and watch these on a regular basis and you're here early on time and stuff, my expectation is probably, you like my style over, say, Deadbeat Super Affiliate. You connect with me better in some way. So I really felt like I connected with Pat Flynn in the way he presented the material. And then there were other jumping off points. So I started following some other people, and, I actually ended up I stopped following those other people, and I'm still with, Pat Flynn. So, and let's see here. Cool. Let's see. And Dennis said something, sub for all the mentioned YouTubers. Oh, I could show that. Okay, sorry. Just taking a look at the chat there. By the way, again, your questions, just type them in. I'll come back to them. And there were a couple that were sent in. Actually, I'll come back to the ones that were sent in and start answering the specific questions that were already in here. All right. Sarah says, have I noticed a drop in organic traffic lately? Is there anything we can do in response to an algorithm change that impacted traffic? I haven't noticed anything, but have other people, and to be honest with you, I haven't looked at traffic in a day or two, so I'm not sure. There could be an impact. The other part is, Sarah, like February is a slow time. It's like one of the slower months. people are still recovering from the holiday season. January isn't too bad. Typically, my guess is people have gift cards and they're purchasing stuff on Amazon and searching for more stuff. But February is a little slower. It's kind of like September, early October timeframe. People are finishing up the summer and they just took vacations and they're buckling down, going back to school and all that. So as far as algorithm changes, I'm unsure of anything. I don't read like super current stuff. Usually if I hear about things enough times, like if you're asking and a couple other people ask, then I'll start researching. But basically, if an algorithm change happens, you kind of have to wait. Like the best action if your traffic drops or something changes is just wait and make some observations, do some investigations. But if you're trying to react quickly, they can roll back the algorithm. They could be testing it in certain small segments of the internet, right? So basically, you kind of just have to wait and see what happens, and then you can take action from there as needed. Let's see here. Santiago. Okay, just making sure I said hello to everyone. And Sarah says, in 1 year, where should we be in terms of daily organic traffic and monthly earnings? It's really hard to say. So typically, Sarah, in like 6 months, we would, I'd want you to have about, your first $100 month or so. After a year, it depends. So depending on many factors, I would just have to brainstorm a bunch of them, but depending on many factors, you could be at $500 in a month or like $2,000 in a month. So it depends on how much content is on your site, the price point of the products, the competition, stuff like that. And Marcel mentions thanks to or congratulations about hitting 5,000 subscribers. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. It looks like we ticked over yesterday at some point, so that's good. So hopefully that'll keep moving on up. I'm hoping the growth will accelerate a little bit. And the hat is quite warm. I'll probably take it off in a second, but yeah, it was like super warm yesterday. Like I think it got up to 47 or 50 Fahrenheit. And then today it's about 3 degrees. So, and all right, Duke is in here for now. That's really good. Gregory is in Scotland. Nice. Okay, you have a hat like this too. Yeah, they're super warm. Very, very, very warm. A lot of Smart Passive Income fans. And yep, the YouTube channel over there for Pat Flynn. Very nice. And the website. David says, when we're using our keywords for the image name, should we use a dash or an underscore? It doesn't matter. Just pick one. David says, image title, should we use the exact keyword? No. Broad with exact keyword or mix containing the keywords, the latter. So you want it to be keyword rich, sort of longer phrases. Should you ignore stop words when picking KGR terms? You read somewhere that Google just ignores them. Yeah, I think Google may ignore them. You probably saw that on Yoast, and then other people mentioned that. So Yoast SEO, the plugin. And as far as when you're picking the KGR terms, I don't ignore them. I put them in. My thought is, and I haven't tested this specifically, but my thought is when people see the full, exactly what they're searching for in the title, that's a good thing. As far as the like how Google treats them, then yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I assume they probably do ignore them to a large extent, but I assume they also test, and if a higher click-through comes with the stop words in there, then they'll deliver those results. Dumb Passive Income has an article talking about the KGR. They tweaked the KGR with terms over 250 with a rule of 63. Cool. Yeah, they Matt Allen, friend of mine, and the folks over at Human Proof, I think Brad wrote that article, by the way. It was a guest post. So they let me know that they were publishing it and all that. And, that's awesome that people are tweaking it. I will mention that I did a whole, I talked about this, and basically I said, you know, 62.5. That's how the math actually comes out, but you have to round up. So I have a couple videos on that, but I never stated it as such. Anyway, yeah, that means I've said it enough and it works that people are believing it and they are putting their own iterations on it and stuff like that. It's great. Thanks for pointing it out. Feel free to link it up in here too. That will be cool. Peter, what's up? Gregory is having sorry. Gregory is saying, is having a strong logo and brand important to converting more sales? I don't know. Maybe a little bit, but I think as long as you have something respectful, respectable and like reasonably authentic looking, that's probably all right. As far as like a logo, no, just text, man. Don't worry about it. Don't waste your time on logo and design and trying to make it look too pretty. Yes, there will be people that will tell you you need to have a beautiful looking website. You need to have really well formatted posts and stuff. They're usually selling you some sort of a content builder like Thrive, Architect. So just keep that in mind. If you take a look at like some of the bigger brands, they typically have just a text logo. So don't worry about it. Wesley says, it bugs you that Human Proof is selling KGR content. You feel they should give you a chunk of every KGR package they sell. Thanks. That's kind of you. Basically, Dom mentioned that he had that idea, and then I saw the post over at the Dumb Passive Income podcast where they were rolling it out. And, I'm not into the service business. I'm an affiliate for them, so I could push that harder. And probably in a couple of months, I'm going to come out with more affiliate content because I want to provide reviews and provide my insights on certain tools. But everyone should remember this as you're thinking about actions that you're going to take. You have to remember, right? Like incentives. I'll provide the content, but I want to have some kind of ROI. Otherwise, it's not a good action for me to take. It takes a lot of time and a lot of money to produce the videos, to produce good videos, because I pay an editor now. She does much better than I do. And it is, key to make sure there's an ROI on the actions you take. So potentially I could try to sell like KGR. Here's the thing though, if you just buy KGR content, then you're probably like not developing the skills that are all so valuable to actually spend the time on the tools and understand and look at the competition. I mentioned this often, but if I just gave you all the keywords you need to build a site, you still have to do the execution, which is difficult. Thanks, Wesley, for mentioning that, though. Our main says, is the health website still viable? Sure, you have to do your competition analysis and check out keywords, but sure, everything's still viable in my opinion. Robbie says, hi, Doug. I am from India. You're from India and you've started to watch my videos. Thanks. It's just a compliment. Thanks, Ravi. If you have questions, feel free to, put them in here or in the comments of the videos. Wakez says, who said Google hates KGR? You have 15 index keywords with a KGR, just 6 days old. That's crazy. That's really cool. And a few, Wakez and Sarah, they are students of Five Figure Niche Site. So is Arun. So just throwing that out there. Armaine says, can you tell me if something's wrong with the design of this health website? Not really, but here's my hunch. If you have to ask if anything's wrong, then yes, there's probably something wrong. So just remember, simple, white background, black text, don't make it complicated. Don't make it complicated. All right. And Martin, I have a good hat. That's cool. Thank you. We could try different types of hats. I don't always wear hats. In the summer, I won't be wearing hats as much because, it's warm. And I have this I have high airflow, you see. So, but in the winter, I need them. I need the hat. All right. And initially you thought I got hair extensions. That would be pretty serious. Yeah. All right. And Marcel has an observation about the KGR. Most products in your niches have low price points, which seems logical. By nature, they're less competitive. You wonder if that's a general pattern you see with KGR. A lot of times, but not always. So it just depends. But if I had to just blanket, if you force me to give an answer, I would say, yeah, I think it may be more even than we think, but it depends on the niches. Okay, Mangesh says, are good niches still available on Amazon? Yes, yes, they are. You just have to go out and look for them and find them. Martin says, is it worth it to get keyword keg? You saw they have my review there. Yep, I provided a testimonial for them. Is that the best tool for now? It is a fine tool. I'm not an affiliate for them. They don't even have an affiliate program. It's a fine tool. It seems to be the cheapest with the highest amount of, functionality on it. So that is why I recommend it. I got so many, requests, people asking about the cheapest tool and that sort of thing. So that's why I sort of arrived at, hey, if you need the bare bones functionality, you can get their cheapest package. If you need a little bit more functionality, upgrade. There's other tools out there, so you could basically, use the one that you like. Most of them have a 30-day free trial or a couple-day free trial. I encourage you to check it out, see which one you like. Turns out you really don't need a keyword research tool for more than like 1, maybe 2 months at a time. That should probably give you enough keywords for like a year's worth of content, right? You don't need to do keyword research continuously. And that said, another portion of content that I'm going to be doing is around keyword research tools, because I haven't used, say, Longtail Pro in a while. I've heard they've, improved it a lot. The last time I used it, it was like unusable, but that was like 2+ years ago. And I know it's hard to run a software company. It's hard to make, improvements over time, and they have new management. There's always some transition time with the migration and all that stuff. So I'm willing to check out some other tools. And thanks, folks, about mentioning the KGR. That is a keyword golden ratio. All right, Waquez says, any keyword ranking improvement short tip, Doug, sir. All right, I think I got the overall point. So I'll rephrase it in that, do I have any tips for rankings and how to improve rankings? Yeah. Basically, there's a couple things in Waquez. Your site's so young, right? So if you're working on the 6-day-old site, you're probably not going to be able to do anything in the short term. So the number one thing you could do is be patient. Anything you do that you think will make it go faster, to rush the process in any way, is probably a mistake, right? So the other things that you can do that, aside from patience, which is not the answer you're looking for, I realize, you can add more content. So lengthen the content. You can add some images, add some YouTube videos, right? You can do those sort of things. And you can also, get some backlinks via, I would recommend just blog commenting on relevant blogs. Waquez, that is going to be in unit 6 of 5-figure niche sites. So just be patient. In a couple weeks, that'll be out there for you. It's important not to rush. The course takes you through the material at basically the fastest speed that you can go through it. So just be patient. All right. All right. And Barry, what's up? I see you're on as well. Good to have you on, man. And then we have top motivational videos. Is that your real name? Just kidding. When AdSense does not approve a website, What are the different ways to monetize the website? Okay, so the situation is this from top motivational videos. So AdSense has rejected the website. What are the different ways to monetize the website? Tell me this, top motivational videos. How much traffic do you have on your site? And then I'll answer the question from there. Furhan says, have I tried SERPstat? It's cheaper than SEMrush and supposed to be good for research and backlink tracking. I've heard it a couple times. I have not used it at all, but I will make a note of it since I've heard of it a couple times now. Let me just put that on my master list of ideas here. Okay, cool. Got this somewhere. And yeah, just let me know top motivational about your situation there, and perhaps I can make some recommendations. Sort of stats. Yeah, that could be a good tool there. Lance, good to have you on. Mangesh says niche, keyword, and domain name helps to rank faster. No, not necessarily. Alwayne says, will high quality Web 2.0s affect a niche site? I mean, if they're like real, if they're real sites with real traffic, then yes. If you're talking about just creating a Web 2.0 blog, this is like a WordPress blog. If you just created one and added links in there, no, I don't think so. Okay, top motivational video says it's just a general question. You don't have a website yet. Okay, there's a lot of ways to monetize a site. So you could do affiliate sales. You can build an email list and do affiliate sales. You can, create your own product and sell that. You can sell physical products. So I would say build a website that will be approved for AdSense if that's your thing. So, okay. Next question is, David, talk more about Web 2.0s, please. Okay. Don't waste your time with Web 2.0s. Basically, that's my statement on that. Do something more powerful. So don't waste your time. Lance says, you're seeing your allintitle results for the same phrase vary. Sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 250. Okay. I have heard some of this. Lance, where are you located? Are you using a VPN? Is there, some reason the geography would be different? I'm not sure. I haven't seen that personally, but I have heard people say it. Typically they're in, other geographies, not in the US, or they're somehow using different, different VPNs or servers or something like that. Wakez says, can we use spun articles and Web 2.0s from PLR? I would not recommend that. I would not recommend that. And, per my last statement about Web 2.0s, it's not really worth the time these days. If you're going to spend your time doing stuff like that, it's just a waste of time. But if you wanted to use a Web 2.0 and spin the articles from PLR, you're basically publishing garbage. So you really can't expect much out of that. All right, Lance says you're near Pittsburgh. That's right. So, okay. And there were a couple tips here. So Marcel says you started using a VPN and it seems more stable now. David mentions adding ampersand GL equals US at the end. Give that a try, Lance. Shoot me an email on the 5-Figure Niche Site support email address if you're still having issues. I'm not 100% sure. However, it sounds like those two suggestions may be good. Top motivational video says, how much money do you need to build a strong website? I'm going to make some assumptions about what you mean by strong, but I'll just say about $200. Grigoris says, let's say your site is 3 months old. It's the best option to work how now, add 50 articles, and then start building backlinks. No, I don't recommend that at all. It usually takes you 4 hours for a 1,000-word article, so it's kind of hard. No, no, no. So I just actually shot a video a few minutes ago. Like, you need to publish like 10 pieces of content and then start link building. I'm going to spoil it a little bit, but I did a couple drawings here. So what you're describing is what other people teach typically from a project management standpoint. I'm not going to go through everything here. I don't want to spoil my whole new video coming out in a few weeks, but basically you're talking about building the site, or sorry, you're talking about finding your keywords and building the site, then adding content, then getting links, and then making money. And you're saying, do this, work hard, work your tail off now, like it feels good, and then you have to wait a long time. And guess what? If you make some mistakes early on, let's say you make some mistakes in building the site and adding the content, and then you're trying to get links, we have to go back and try and fix it. And then everything's wrong in those 50 articles, right? Bad idea. Don't do it that way. Stupid. You should do it this way: sprints of work. So you do like a sprint of work where you work on the content, say 10 posts, and then you do about 20 keywords, something like that. Find 20 keywords, just do 10 posts, maybe 20. Then you get your guest post, and then you start making money a lot sooner. You get traffic within, 4-6 weeks or something like that. And then you can do more sprints, right? Each of these is a sprint of work. So you could do like another sprint of work, and then you're able to actually like make improvements from the mistakes that you made much faster. This is like the biggest thing that I'm doing differently than most other people, because I'm a project manager. So you can get results faster and learn from your mistakes. It's great. I brought those in. But basically, Greg, yeah, I'll just call you Greg. So don't do it that way. Do it the way I just said. Barry says, have I ever used ClickBank or Mobi like John Chow? What's my opinion on John Chow? I don't know. I don't pay attention too much. He seems like a really strong marketer. I have used ClickBank in the past for certain products, but it just depends on what you're trying to do. Santiago says, how many daily visitors are sufficient to start an email list on a niche site, Santiago? And by the way, in 5-figure niche site, you'll get access to this. It's unit 10, but basically I wouldn't worry about it until you're about at like 500 visitors per day plus. So I think you may be at that point. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I think you may be at the right point. Basically, I don't want people to spend time trying to build an email list and learning, trying to build a lead magnet and create a lead magnet and work with the autoresponder, and when they still need to like get traffic to their site. So again, it's another thing where it's like, it's good to have if you've done the first, few steps correctly, but you shouldn't worry about it early on. All right. Matthew says, when using text affiliate links, what are the best calls to action? And are there any that violate the terms of service, which we should avoid? So the answer to that is, I don't know, because I haven't tested every call to action. I usually like to say something about check on Amazon or check pricing on Amazon. There are an endless number that would violate the terms of service, so I can't cover them all here. The top 1 or 2 would be something like see the best price or the lowest price on Amazon, because you're indicating that it is the best price when it may or may not be. So that sort of thing is something to keep in mind. I find that if you have the right traffic on your site, you don't have to have the best call to action or test that much. I mean, I'm sure people will disagree, but you can only spend so much time on certain things. And for me, I don't have a high interest in it. So I would say, just be straightforward, let them know they're going to Amazon, and then you'll have good conversions, right? You don't want to trick someone to click the link. That's the kind of stuff that Amazon wouldn't like. And Alwyn says, have I ever paid for a guest post? Not specifically for a guest post, but I have tested, um, you know, specific services and specific, like some sites will say, we have an admin fee of $25 or something like that. So I have tested it just to see how it goes, right? That's one thing I do, is test. I would say I wouldn't like recommend that you go out and just try and pay for a bunch of guest posts. Mangesh says, best free WordPress theme for beginners. I don't know. I'm not really into themes, so I can't really recommend free ones and suggest one paid theme. There, Duke says Astra and Generate Press. So, I mean, there's some out there. It depends on what you're trying to do, right? If I recommended an Amazon affiliate theme and you don't want to do Amazon affiliate stuff, but I usually say the theme doesn't really matter that much. You just want it to stay out of the way. I want it to stay out of the way. I don't like messing around with a bunch of options and stuff. And V2TAS says the KGR worked. The keyword golden ratio worked for you. You posted on Monday and yesterday it showed up in the 9th position. Awesome. Trader Guy says, how do I feel about buying a site in general? Feel good about it. I think it could be a good option for the right person. Matthew says, pretty sure you'll make over 100 this month. You're really excited. You don't have anything, you don't want anything to go wrong. You're just paranoid. You usually see reviews here or click here to see what others say. Cool. Those are fine calls to action as well. You can link directly to the, review page. So cool. Congratulations on the $100 in the month. Awesome. And Furdu Dan says, the first time live. Awesome to have you on. Really cool. All right. By the way, I totally forgot, even though we're pretty deep in. Can you click the like button? If I answered your question, if you asked a question, can you please click the like button? It helps other people find these, and I would appreciate it. So, all right, a couple questions that were sent in here. And yeah, another trigger is if you've used the KGR and it worked out, click the like button. I feel like that's worth it, right? Okay. Question number 1 that was sent in, what metrics do you check for before pitching for a guest post? I don't check any metrics. I usually just make sure it looks like a real site. It's not a private blog network. How do I handle big writing teams? Well, I try not to have too big of a team, and let me give you some background. I think it was Carl who asked this question. So Carl said, he has like 7 writers, and he said that, how do you deal with teams as big as 20? So this goes back to my corporate job and like managing teams and stuff. Well, you wouldn't want to have that big of a team where everyone was directly reporting to you. So you have 2 options there. You could either have a smaller team, or you need to have like some managers to interface for you. You don't want to have more than like 5 or 6 people reporting to one person. There's too many like channels of communication. And if you look at like network theory or something like that, I know a lot of times we have IT folks on, so you know what I'm talking about. If you look at like network theory, it gets like real complicated very fast when you start adding additional people. Or I guess like if you're a statistician, you would understand what I'm talking about too. But basically, you add more people, it becomes a huge mess. So basically, you need to have fewer people on the team or add some managers in. For me, I don't want to add managers in because then all of a sudden I'm like the top of an org chart, and I don't want to do that. It's not very fun. So I asked Carl, I was like, oh man, you got 7 writers. Like, how much are you publishing, man? That's insane. Are you publishing like 100 articles a week or something? Because if you assume that each writer is, like writing 1 or 2 articles a day, I'm like, what's the deal? And then he let me know that, well, they're only writing, each one of them is only writing like 1 per week. That baffled me, right? why? Why don't you ask the writer, the best 2 writers if they want to write 1 or 2 articles per day? Like he created a problem, I think, by just hiring more people. But really, like, those writers or VAs, whatever they're doing for you, right? It doesn't matter to the team. This could be outreach, it could be anything, right? They don't want to keep finding new one-off jobs where like it takes them a lot of time to find it. They would rather work for just one person where the expectations are clear and just keep working for that person over and over again. So if Carl is only publishing like a couple articles per week when he could afford it and stuff like that, he's much better off just hiring like 1 writer. No need to have 7 writers. The point is, if you had, and I said, all right, you have 7 writers. If they're just writing, 1 article every 5 days or something like that, or sorry, 1 article each day for 5 days, that's 35 articles per week. And I was like, probably some of them would write more than 1 article per day. And I'm like, you're publishing like 70 articles a week at that point. I'm like, how many weeks do you need to do that? Like, that's insane. I don't know what kind of site you're doing, but just, you could scale it down. So anyway, it's a solvable problem. That's an easy one. Like, hire less people. You don't need that many writers. So, okay. Barry says, going back to the sprint, when you're doing link building and guest post, are you still posting new content to your site at that point? No. It doesn't mean that you can't, but I mean, there's no real point. It's like, do this part, do that part, and then, well, I mean, the profit part's just a cute little thing in there. The traffic part is really like guest posting and networking and all that. But could you keep on publishing? Sure, but it's a hell of a lot easier not to, right? Just do one thing at a time and your stress level is way lower. So, yeah. All right. And Matthew says, it was my advice that got you here. Awesome, man. It'll be exciting to interview you coming up here in a few weeks. I have the email. I have a note to catch up with you. So hopefully we'll connect soon. Waquez says, your general question that we build Web 2.0s for every post we post, or is the homepage enough? Waquez, don't build Web 2.0 links. No, don't do it. I'm telling you now, don't do it. It's a waste of time. Spend your time elsewhere. Just stick with the course material. All right. No Web 2.0 stuff. No Web 2.0 stuff. All right. Next. Greg says, you personally check the price on Amazon with a nice looking button and one with learn more. Cool. And Greg, so here, okay, and I'll just make a quick example. How many sites have you created, Gregoris, and how, like, are they very profitable? And the reason why I'm saying this is it's great to see advice in forums and blogs. But the thing is, like, sometimes you get advice, and no offense to Gregoris, I just know that, you're generally a beginner, right? So anyone talks about what they do, but it's hard to tell if like those are result or if they have like high impact or if the results are good or not. So like the thing is, like, it may or may not be valuable. So just remember that whenever you see advice, particularly in like Facebook forums, some of the, worst people and worst information on the internet is in Facebook groups. Next, Amos Lowe says, thanks for the keyword golden ratio. You're starting to rank pages for the first time. You're ranking between 15 and 100. Any tricks to on-page SEO or picking keywords that will rank closer to the top? So generally, there's no real tricks for on-page SEO. I think if you search on my channel for on-page SEO, you'll find a video where I talk about a couple tips. So I think there's like 3 specifically. Check out that video. As far as picking keywords that will rank closer to the top, there's so many factors involved, but I would say a lot of times if you pick lower search volume, like those are less competitive, so you'll rank better. And the other part is, let's see, it depends on how old your site is, and the on page, like make it longer, use good subheadings, H2, H3 tags, stuff like that. So no real tricks, just be patient. If you just started doing it, then just wait and let me know in 2 months. Okay, and then the trader guy says, as someone who freelances in the technical analysis in the currency markets, you refuse jobs that aren't at least daily. There you go. And I think what happens. Tell me this, trader guy, since you're in the freelance writing world. I typically will hire someone for a trial gig, or maybe 2 trial gigs, to see how we work together. Sometimes you just don't click with someone, other times you do. So usually I want to hire someone where they write all the time, but I want to hire them for a trial gig once or twice first. So trader guy, is that like a viable option or something like that? And then after that, it's like, yeah, I want to give that person a bunch of work after you've already vetted them, because then you don't have to do all the admin work of hiring people again and again. Okay. And yeah, people want to see the mug. Yeah, this is a Hoth mug, the Hoth. And after all my talk about Web 2.0s, I'm sure you're wondering why I have this. They have tons of services. They could write content for you. They could do guest posting work for you as well. And I've guest posted on the Hoth. I used to use their Web 2.0 blogs, and some people still do. It is a viable way to get links and diversify your backlink profile and the anchor text and all that. But when I'm talking to my students of 5-figure niche site, I really want to, emphasize that I prefer, and you're better off not taking the risk. And I mean, the advantage that you get out of it is not a huge one. So yeah, Hoth mug, pretty nice. Good folks over there. Really good customer service. So and oh, okay. Matthew says you heard that having Amazon in the anchor text is a problem. And I have heard someone mention to me, here's the thing. I've heard, not necessarily in the text, but I've heard if you have a button, then it could be an issue. So, you know what? I don't use buttons. I know some people say buttons are really awesome and maybe they improve conversions and all that stuff. I don't use buttons. It's a training issue and I don't want to, train people. All right. Alwyn says, hope you don't have a problem with this question, but will paying for a high quality guest post affect your site? Probably not. If you just, I mean, here's the thing, like any one thing is probably not going to affect anything, right? But like if you do a bunch of those and they're not all high quality, right? I mean, if you get a high quality guest post, it's fine. Paying for it, it's probably fine if it's high quality. But the hard part is like when you end up on a site that isn't high quality, when you end up on a PBN, but you didn't realize it, that sort of thing. Because what happens, and I've seen this a lot when I was doing outreach for my guest posting service that is not around anymore. If you email people and you're like, hey, I want to do a guest post, they're like, cool, glad you asked. This was huge in the travel blog community, by the way. They'll say, sure. Also, I have these other 15 blogs, and here are the prices, and here's the PR, which is the page rank, which is like an old school thing that doesn't even exist anymore, right? So essentially, those are PBNs, right? So you think you're getting a decent blog, and they're like, oh, if you get all 15 links, then I'll lower the price for you, that kind of stuff. It's just a crappy blog network that hardly gets traffic. Okay. And Trader Guy mentions about the trial jobs. You don't have an issue with it. You assume you're going to get the job, but you let them know that you're looking for steady work. Some clients are over 8 years old. Cool. And that's the way to do it right there. And Steven says, you have a Hoth mug too. Yeah. I think like they were sending them out in like t-shirts a while back. So really soft t-shirt, by the way, too. Really soft. And Steven says, when I read this, it says, anyone ever use SEM alt? And I see malt, as the home brewer, I'm thinking malt, SE malt. What is that? Search engines for malt? No, I haven't used it before. I don't know. Okay. Trader Guy mentions still on the freelance topic, anyone who's good at what they can do can demand the kind of work, especially once they're established, for sure. Definitely. Embracing Wellness says, is there a tool we can use to see where your posts are ranking? Yeah. You can use, I use serplab.co.uk. So I think you can get some free tracking for a pretty decent number of keywords. And then their paid stuff is pretty darn cheap too. That's what I would recommend. Wakez, thanks for hopping on. Gregora says that you didn't like SEM alt. All right. Mohammed says, do I use siloing? Nope, don't worry about it. Gregoris says they build backlinks. So SE alt, then they build backlinks, and if you stop paying, they take everything back. Interesting. Okay, I would avoid them. Someone else mentions Longtail Pros rank checker, and I wouldn't recommend like Longtail Pro for the rank checking unless you're already using it. It would be a pretty expensive option versus serplab.co. Marcel, thanks for putting the link in there. Bassi says, for the keyword golden ratio, the search volume is an important metric, but different tools have different search volumes. Which do I use? I usually use keyword keg, but just pick one tool and use it and move forward. It doesn't, I mean, I created the formula with a lot of, I guess, slack. I'm not sure the right word to use. It's pretty aggressive, right? So even if the keyword volumes are like off by a decent amount, it's probably going to be okay. So just use one tool. Don't worry about it. And Marty, what's up? Good to have you on as well. Mentioning, yeah, and I don't know how many free keywords you could track at SERPLab, but it's a good tool, and that's the one I recommend. It seems to be pretty accurate overall. So, Marco, good to have you on. Bird says, what's my price range when searching for affiliate products on Amazon? Like $1 is a minimum on up. I mean, I really, I'm looking for keywords typically, not like the price range of what's acceptable. So if it's a good keyword, I'll go for it, get the person on the site. Barry, see you later. Have a good weekend as well. And the answer to the question that what you're really asking, I think, is if you can get like the average price of some of the products to be like maybe like $75, $100 or so, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. That's kind of where you want to be, I think. So Bird, I would say, don't exclude products just because they're cheap. I mean, if you can get traffic on your site, that's a good thing. All right. And yeah, thanks to the fine moderators. We have Marcel, we have Duke, Furhan. I think Lance was on too. Keep an order in the chat room. Everyone say thanks to those guys. And looks like if you're watching the replay later, you could also say thanks to them in the comments. I do see we have a handful of people on, but not that many thumbs up. We don't have that many likes. So if you have the opportunity, actually, how about this? If I answered your question, just like the video, right? I mean, I've answered at least 30 of them or something like that. Only 19 likes. So if I answered your question or if you learned anything at all, then yeah, I think you should like the video. David says you recommend keywords everywhere. I like keywords everywhere, and it extracts values from the keyword planner. Yeah, it's a very good tool. All right, and Waquez says remove the hat. Not looks good at you, sir. I'll take it under consideration. Thanks, Waquez. Just mixing it up. This hat's awesome. I disagree. And it has buttons, so I could put it up like this. There. Like that. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's a mixed bag. You like the hat or you love it. I mean, sorry, you like the hat or you hate it. So Steven likes it. Okay. Santiago says, is it good to show the product price or better to avoid it and generate intrigue and clicks? You will have to test it. So I've seen and heard, people split test and check it out. And in some cases, they make more sales. In other cases, they make fewer sales. So I think it's niche dependent. It may be site dependent as well. So just, test it. It is not easy to test. I typically don't put the prices. I just don't put the prices. And again, like there are, tools to, make the API calls so you can get, the number of reviews and the pricing and all that stuff. And for me, I didn't want to train the VAs that I had working with me to do, like to add the buttons, to add like these different things like the pricing and use the tools. So I just, I didn't worry about it and I think it's fine. So test it, Santiago. Is the only way to know. Dan says, what's my opinion on I don't know what that is. So I'm not sure. Getting visitors to your site using AdFly, is that what that is? I would guess that's probably, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I can't make anything up. So, and Steven says Elmer Fudd wants his hat back. Nice. Mohammed says the most powerful backlinks method you still depending on in 2018. So I think the question is, what are the most powerful backlinks in 2018? I mean, contextual links from good sites. So same as always, I think. No change. Same as last year and the year before and moving forward, that'll probably be it. However you get them, totally up to you. You can do guest posting, you can, buy a media company and then put links on your media company sites or whatever. All right. Pranay says, how to use a PBN without penalizing the site. Okay. I recommend you check out other people that use PBNs. I don't use PBNs. Those are private blog networks. But I mean, the thing is you should not leave a footprint, right? So you need to make sure the domains are good. And then the best case scenario is to like create a network for one site and only use that network on the one site. When you start, this is the issue that I had. I had a huge network. I had like 60 domains. This is a few years ago. This is also why I don't use private blog networks anymore. So I had a huge network and I linked to all my money sites from like half of them, right? So I didn't have a huge like saturation level, so I thought, but when it comes down to it, it's pretty easy to see a network, right? You can dissect a network very easily and then see all the money sites fast, right? Um, so the best way to do it without getting penalized, have good domains, and then just have one network where you're linking to your money site and no others. But really, you should go you know, check out like Charles Float, Matt Diggity. They use PBNs. Not my thing. Pranay says, is Fiverr safe for purchasing backlinks? No. Slow says, I use short links for some of your pages, like Bitly. Do they still count as backlinks? I think so, but I'm not 100% sure how it's counted or anything like that. Okay, and Steven says, you know, someone who was ranking #1 for a profitable keyword. He was beating out top websites. Pretty sure he had a PBN, but now he's dropped really far in the SERPs. Yep. Marty says Fiverr is crap for backlinks. Yeah. I mean, basically, Pranay, like the questions that you're asking sound like you're trying to take a shortcut, try and rank faster or something like that. And I mean, if you're thinking short term, then like those could work. And if you just want to try and, you know, test things out, that's fine. But if you're trying to like build an asset or something, then which is what I recommend, you should be patient and, you know, do things right. Don't try and take a shortcut. Peter says, do you cross link my own sites? No, I don't. I think it can be fine if it's like a relevant link, right? But you know, I don't think it's a huge benefit. Okay, Matthew says you posted your article on Reddit and saw your article go from the second page to page 1. It happened within days. You think time on page is significant? Yeah, I think it is significant. And that's a great thing. I mean, if you can, I'm not a big Reddit person. I hear it can be very effective. So if you can like make it like not self-promotional and stuff, it can be really powerful. And Marty mentions you have gotten a few guest posts from Fiverr, but you have to be really careful. Most of them are bad. Yeah, and the thing is, like, I think if you find the right people and you upgrade your gig and pay more than $5, right? Your odds go up to getting a better backlink. But the thing is, if you get guest posts from Fiverr, you know they're just constantly selling links on their site. So at some point, like it is just mostly a site that has backlinks to people who are trying to build backlinks. So like the value goes down a bit. And and the thing is, yeah, Marty's not looking for short term. He's testing, right? So it's viable to test. Like I said, I've tested some you know, paid, you know, guest post services and stuff like that. You have to test to understand. And I tested Fiverr stuff back in the day. And, you know, anyway, everybody be cool in the chat. All right. Any other questions? I have a couple more in the log here. Okay. This was on mastermind groups. Who's in a mastermind group? Let me know live in the chat here. Who's in a mastermind group? Who's interested in being a mastermind group? Oh, and I see we do have a few more likes in here. Oh, I'll like it too. We're up to 28. And if you're watching the replay, are you in a mastermind group? Let me know in the comments as well. And by the way, you feel free to connect. Here's the thing with mastermind groups. I've been in mastermind groups since I heard of them from Pat Flynn way back in the day, and I actually formed my first one out of the Niche Site Duel 2.0. And it turns out that my project management skills kind of prepared me to set up mastermind groups. I've pretty much set up all the mastermind groups and organized each one that I've worked on. So I think the other part is I've actually done a lot of job interviews before, like as the interviewer. So probably over 100, which is crazy. But when I formed the mastermind group, I, went to a place where there were many people, the forum, the Niche Site Duel 2.0 forum, where there were a lot of people. And I said, hey, I want to form a mastermind group. Here's my idea on how often to meet. Here's what I want to cover. Here's the kind of people we're looking for. And people replied. They were like, hey, I'm interested. So I interviewed basically, I think like 10 people. I picked like the 8 that, or maybe 7, I can't remember. I think about 7, 6 or 7 that were interested and that sort of passed my interview process, right? And then we met for a few weeks, and I was sort of I was probably middle of the pack. It was a wide range of people. There were a few people making a few bucks a month, but I think the best way to form a group is to be the hub. You pull it together. Most people are sort of not, they don't want to organize meetings. They don't want to set the agenda. They don't want to run meetings. And then that's exactly what I did for my job: organize meetings and set the agenda and then run the meeting. So it turned out I was like a perfect sort of person to pull it together. Thing is, if you're the hub, you could pull in people that you want. As I mentioned, I interviewed and vetted everyone, so I could pick who I wanted. So you could pick people that are better than you, that have more experience in different areas, things that you could help each other with. Now, luckily, I had the project management stuff, so it was, like, I don't know, a skill that other people were like, oh yeah, Doug knows project management. That's good. But in essence, the best way to get into a mastermind group is to form it yourself. And if you go ask around, like, you can find people. And guess what? You only need one other person to have a mastermind group. If you can find 2 others, that's cool, but you really only need one other. All right. And Marty says, you're in a mastermind group with Sarah. Awesome. And Stephen mentions, is the Hoth okay for guest posting? Yes. Here's the thing. I believe that I haven't tested them thoroughly, but I know people that have. I believe there are some sites that aren't as awesome. I don't think they're private blog networks, but there are some sites that aren't as awesome. I think they have like a huge pool of sites that they can turn to, they have relationships with. So I think it's worth it for a test, Stephen. Basically, for any of these services, I do recommend, do a test, see how it goes, see if you like the service. I wouldn't recommend all of a sudden going for like 10 guest posts or 20 guest posts, and you're laying out a huge chunk of cash and you don't know like how great it is yet. So test it. Some people like to work with that service. Some people like to work with other services. I will say the best guest posting that you can get, though, is like you have to do it yourself or work with individuals who are following a specific process. All right. Duke says, tip for those that are thinking of paying for guest posts: each domain that you're thinking of buying a guest post from, run it through SimilarWeb. If their search referrals is not high, don't buy. Yep. You kind of want to make sure they get traffic, right? You want to make sure they get traffic and show up on search and stuff like that. Okay. And Amaslow says, you're interested in mastermind groups, but you don't qualify yet. Not much revenue yet. And actually, it doesn't even matter, right? Like, you can start a group for people that are interested in starting a site yet, or you're interested in a specific topic. It's just a way to get around people that are working on the same kind of stuff, bounce ideas off each other. I mean, I think most people, right? Let me know in the comments. Let me know live here in the chat. When you start talking about niche sites and internet marketing to like your friends or like other people in your family or other folks that you're around, they probably don't know what you're talking about, right? No one understands what you're talking about. You can hit high level stuff, but in general, people are just confused and they think that you're a scammer or something like that. So just to be around people that understand what you're trying to do is a like pretty powerful thing. JP says, do I have a generalized startup cost for creating a decent niche site? Yeah, $200 at a minimum. David says, sharing the mastermind groups was enlightening. You want to be the hub, resonates with you. Awesome. Oh yeah, Marty mentions there's an authority hacker post regarding guest post services where they tried several. Good to know. Arun says, have I noticed if there's a drop in domain authority after switching to HTTPS? I haven't, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about domain authority, especially like if you're switching to HTTPS and you've done everything right on Webmaster, the Search Console, then you're good to go. All right. Matthew says, Marty, good to see you here from the Authority Hacker. You got some stick about posting your site's progress and giving credit to Doug over in the Authority Hacker group. That's cool. I was wondering, like, I mean, like I said, people are talking about the keyword golden ratio, and I wondered what other places where it's starting to percolate up. I saw a while back it was like posted in a forum, and people were going back and forth on it, the validity or invalidity of it. And you know what? Enough people have told me that it works that I know there are tons of other people that don't tell me that it's working for them, but it is. So I think it's for real. Kevin says, you just joined Pinterest to drive traffic. Any tips on it? I would say, Kevin, do you already have a lot of traffic on your site? And my recommendation is don't waste your time on Pinterest. Unless you're into Pinterest, Kevin, it is not like organic SEO. The cool part with organic SEO over like social media channels is organic SEO will continue to work for a while. Like it can take some time to rank, but once you rank, like it'll sort of stick there. And you can take advantage of stuff like the keyword golden ratio. The Pinterest thing is like you have to constantly post. Are there tools that can help you do that? Sure, but you have to keep doing stuff over and over again. And if you're into Pinterest, go for it. Knock yourself out. You'll love it. But if you're not, then don't waste your time with it. If you see people saying, hey, get tons of traffic with Pinterest and here's, a case study, they're probably selling you a tool of some kind. So check it out, Kevin. If people are saying like, hey, check out all the traffic we have from Pinterest. By the way, here's the tool you could use. That's their incentive. So, all right. Pinterest marketing takes a lot of time. You heard somewhere that most Pinteresters are not buyers. Yep. So, and that's the other thing. So organic SEO, thanks for reminding me, I'm a slow. If you are into Pinterest, that's cool. You could spend a lot of time there. It'll be fun for you and everything. You don't know exactly why people are on Pinterest. A lot of times they're just pinning stuff. Having traffic on your site is not bad. It could potentially help your SEO, but not directly. So the thing is, if people are on Pinterest, are they there to waste time and pin stuff, or are they there to make a purchase? They're probably not there to make a purchase. And that's Amislow's point there. Okay. Charles is on. What's up? Good to have you on. And I think I had a couple more questions. Okay. Last question that was sent in. So how do you run a mastermind meeting? Here's the format that I learned from Smart Passive Income. And there are many ways to do it. There's no right way. I think this way works well to start off with. So on your initial meeting, by the way, I think it's best just to do like intros, right? You have to trust everyone in the group. You're going to be talking about stuff critical to your business at certain points. You may need help selecting keywords if you're talking like niche site stuff. And the thing is, have a couple meetings where you just introduce each other, understand the backgrounds, understand like, what's going on. Maybe even 2 meetings to do that. And then you develop some trust. You develop, just some, rapport with other people. All right. So the next like meeting and the agenda you could use, everyone takes like 2 minutes, 90 seconds or something to talk about one big win from the previous like week or 2 weeks or however often you meet. So big win. So everyone gets to say something positive. Typically, someone will have a hot seat to talk about an issue. So just one person will have a hot seat. They'll describe a problem, some issue they're having, and ask for advice. Then people give the advice. That could take anywhere from like 20 to 40 minutes or whatever. Then the last segment of the meeting can be for like upcoming goals for the next week or the next 2 weeks, however often you meet. I think early on it could be great to meet once a week. And then after you sort of see the rhythm of the group and how fast people accomplish their goals, then maybe every 2 weeks. Totally up to you. You can meet once a month if you want to. So it depends on how big the projects are, how often you want to talk. My mastermind group has we have just like a chat room for um in Skype, that is. So we just have conversations going on and it's not like urgent. And all of us just take a quick peek at Skype, like, once a day or two. So that's a good way to run a meeting. What happens over time, especially if your mastermind group is like around for a couple years, you'll have like periods where you want to change up the agenda. It gets like too regular. So like we'll throw in like quarterly reviews. We'll throw in annual reviews, and maybe those take up like an annual review can take up 2 meeting sessions, so everyone can talk and go pretty deep. And then what we did this last time is I think we had a review session, and then we were all sort of in churn. So we thought about it some more and revised our annual goals after a couple weeks to think about it. And then, at this point, we're having like mini hot seats. So one or two or even three people will mention, hey, I have a question on this or that. But it's not like a full hot seat. It's just a minor thing that we want to talk about. Okay. Got a couple questions that popped through here. Gregoris says, on a 1,000-word article, should I only use a call to action once, or should I use it 3 to 4 times in different places? 3 to 4 places is probably fine. Matthew says, converting your info articles into videos was great. So if I do a tutorial or a how-to or an instruction article, I actually do what I'm saying in the article and show instead of tell people what you're doing. Your videos are now hitting 20,000 views and bumping traffic up to 10 to 20%. That's awesome. Santiago, thanks for hopping on. Matthew, so what do you do in the videos? Like, do you do a talking head video like this and describe what's going on, or how do you do it? Just curious. Kevin says you just started a new site. You were looking at traffic methods outside of content and SEO. Gotcha. Yeah, I would say don't waste your time on Pinterest. Either you should just do Pinterest and like focus on Pinterest, figure that out and stick with it for like 6 months. I don't think you should, by the way. I think you should look at organic SEO and stick with that. You're going to learn a lot more like relevant long-term things that'll be more useful to you in the future. So that's my tip. Cool Deep asks about keyword research. Yeah, so look at the keyword golden ratio. And James, thank you. I was just about to say, I think I put a playlist for keyword research in the video description. All right. And Kuldeep, yeah, take a look at that playlist. So, yeah, take a look at that and it should answer your questions. Okay, Matthew says on the YouTube video idea, it's a sports niche. So you play the sport and you give tips along the way. So just captions on the screen at critical moments, not a single word spoken. That's cool. So you may venture into talking when it's necessary. Awesome. So you're getting 20,000 views per what? But that's amazing to bump the traffic up 10 to 20%. Very cool. And by the way, Matthew, so um, you're linking your content using a KGR term in the description. So you're linking back to your site, and then on the site, you're embedding the video and you're linking back to YouTube, right? And Matthew, this is great. I have had, some interest in some of that stuff, but like I haven't actually tested it. Okay, 20,000 views per video. That is fantastic. That's really cool. So I think whenever we do your success story and talk about like what you've been able to do, we could do this strategy in another video. So I think that'll be really cool. All right. Any other questions out there? And by the way, Cool Deep, since we were, all the fine people helped you for the playlist. If you hit the like button, and by the way, if people are on, you haven't hit the like button yet, you really should. Click the like button. That is the thumbs up. Looks like we only have 31. And I know some people churned in and churned out. And if you're catching the replay, you should like the video too. If you're watching at this point and we're an hour and 20 minutes in, you must really like it. So go ahead, click the like button. Okay. Matthew says, yep, you're linking to and from YouTube and embedding in the article. Very cool. I think that is a powerful thing to do, especially if you're getting traffic and then people are watching the video, and yeah, it works well together. All right, Kuldeep, appreciate it. Any other questions before we finish up? I think I'm going to go out for a little walk, maybe shovel the driveway some more. Kevin says, on the Google suggested searches, should I put a short article to cover the searches that have 0 searches? Yes, you should. When you say short, I don't know what you mean, but I'll just tell you, I would say 800 words or more. Okay, Matthew says, we'll do a success story at $500 to $1,000 per month. Cool. Yep, and the other part is that Amislo mentions here is you should check the other competition for the keyword to see how long to make the content. That's a good idea too. All right. Any other questions before we finish up? I know there's a couple seconds delay here. So by the way, just give everyone a quick update. I have been publishing a lot of videos lately. I think probably people have noticed that. So I've been publishing a lot of videos. It looks like, just in general, I'll probably do a whole series of videos on like what I've done in the results. But one thing I haven't done, and I said I was going to do a long time ago, like in the middle of the year. So about a year ago, my YouTube channel only had, I think it was like maybe 500 subscribers or so. There were more than you would think. There were a few people that that were subscribed. However, I started publishing more videos. I was doing live streams. They were terrible. If you watch videos from even a few months ago, really bad. The ones from a year ago were even worse. They were terrible. And if you look back like I think there's a video from like 3 or 4 years ago, they were bad. I'll just put it that way. But as I did more and more, I got better and better, very, very extremely slowly. And what I can mention is, I'm trying to pull up the analytics on my other screen here. Basically, views are up, right? Views are up, which is cool. It makes sense, right? I'm publishing more videos, but they're shorter. And the interesting thing, the important thing on YouTube is watch time. If you're unfamiliar, it's watch time versus views. They want people to spend time on YouTube. So if you can get people to watch your videos and then watch another, even if they watch like someone else's videos at some point, like that's good, right? If you get someone on YouTube and they stay, they like that. As I'm publishing more and more, some of my videos are shorter because it's hard to keep someone's attention for like 45 minutes or whatever, unless you're live, and then you'll put up with a lot of stuff like you are right now. But with the watch time, even though my retention is going down, people aren't watching the videos as long because like per video, it's okay because I'm publishing like 1 to 2 videos a day. And what's interesting is like my peaks of watch time per day, they aren't moving up like a huge amount, not yet. I hope they go up more. But it is the dips. The dips aren't going down as far. Now I've only been doing this for about a week where I'm publishing this much. However, I believe that the videos will be suggested more, and very slowly, like as people are watching more videos from me, there will be more recommendations for my videos in the suggested videos area. So that is the hope. And I've seen, multiple people different times publish, a video every day for 30 days or 50 days or whatever. And I thought, hey, what if I did like 2 videos a day for I picked the shortest month, right? So I picked February. I was like, what if I did 2 videos a day? Well, then I thought, well, that's a lot. Why don't we just scale it back to most days we'll publish 2 videos. On the weekend, we'll just publish 1 and see how it goes. So I think it's working. But it is very interesting when you like start doing like large amounts of work, like you learn stuff about the process. So even if this doesn't work exactly right, like to publish and put out this much content, pretty crazy, pretty cool. So Matthew says my videos weren't that bad. Thanks. And the videos are packed with more nuggets than other people. Thanks. Appreciate that. And people are watching videos at 2 a.m. Really cool. All right. I'm going to get out of here and we'll see you next time. Check out, well, I can tell you, I have my content calendar out here. Yeah. So the point is, I'll probably share like the process, how I developed the process of like making this work, the project management behind it all, and the results afterwards. So basically, should be able to like reveal all the information out there. Oh, couple really cool videos coming up. So later today, there's 4 steps to create an Amazon affiliate niche site. So for the beginners out there, you can check that out. Oh, and thanks, Charles and Marty for hopping on today. Tomorrow, I'll talk about making 70K in 2017 from just 1 niche site. And on Sunday, making $1,000 a day with 1 niche site. So these are specific points in time for 2 different sites. I hope those are going to take off a little bit. Those are juicy headlines. I try and stay away from those, but when I see like what other people are putting out there, they don't even have Amazon affiliate sites. Makes me sad. So anyway, I got a couple cool ones coming out in the next few days here. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Everybody have a good weekend.